Fantastic. Well, my name is Sally Seidriff. I'm the Director of Talent and Training Programming with the Institute for Workforce Excellence. I'll go into what that organization is here in a second and how it relates to work and learn and earn funding. I do have my fantastic colleague with me today, Anna Muir. She is on the call monitoring all of the logistics on the back end here and keeping up with the waiting room and the chat. So if you do have a question, feel free to put that into our lovely chat room. If you're feeling brave and you want to come off mute on this Friday, you're welcome to do so. Just shout out your question at any time and we'd be happy to answer that for you. But today we're going to be talking about Work and Learn Indiana and the Earn Indiana program. We'll also be talking about quality work-based learning opportunities and what that means. So I'll do an introduction of the Institute. As I mentioned, Anna and I both work for the Institute. We'll talk about quality work-based learning, and then a number of programs and initiatives help get you started on the right track here. So again, thank you so much for joining us. The Institute for Workforce Excellence does host some summer programming, and this is where this picture came from. It's our lovely interns from the Indianapolis Children's Museum on Indiana Intern Day. It is a national day as well, typically in July. So if you're hosting summer interns, let us know and we can come celebrate with you. The Institute for Workforce Excellence is a recently adopted organization. We repurposed the 501c3 from Indiana InternNet, if you're familiar with Indiana InternNet. But it's really, our organization is dedicated to supporting Indiana attract, develop, retain talent in the state through a number of initiatives that we offer, programs, some of our services and workshops that we have, much like this. We have an advisory committee that supports our efforts from community, education, business, and government. And it's really an initiative that is meant to bring together workforce and education initiatives, help align them, and really help grow our employers' support and needs in the talent development arena. So we are a nonprofit of the Chamber. So we are a 501c3 subsidiary of the Indiana Chamber. I do want you to know that you do not have to be a member of the Chamber to participate in the Institute programming and events. So we are affiliated, but we do not have membership and require you to pay for services that we offer. This is our team. We're small but mighty. Many of you may know Todd Hurst. He's been in the workforce and education field and area for quite some time. We just recently brought on a fantastic colleague of ours, Natalie Winsler, as the Director of Partnerships. Anna and I are obviously on the call today, and then we have two other staff members with us as well. So in terms of that, if you don't get Anna and myself, completely fine. We are all well-versed in the services and support that we offer. And so just for your awareness, you might see some other folks from our team out and about. This is who we are and what we do. So these are three initiatives that we really stick to at our goals around the Institute, and I'm going to go through this fairly quickly just so that you have an understanding of that. We do have statewide campaigns that will be happening around employer engagement and how do we support employers with upskilling and different education and resource opportunities for employers. We also have ongoing surveys. We just released an ongoing employer survey. So if you actually want to check that out on the Indiana Chamber website, there was about, I think, 900 respondents to that from our employer survey, talking about what are some of those needs and what are the trends and perspectives throughout the state. And then obviously we'll talk about Work and Learn Indiana, one of the programs of ours. And we recently launched the Talent Resource Navigator. That is another tool. It's like a community bulletin board for education resources as well as workforce resources. You're welcome to go out to the talentresourcenavigator.com and review that as well. But today, talking about quality work-based learning and what that means. This by no means is an adoption of a statewide initiative. This is from our workforce survey or our work-based learning survey based on conversations that we had with both state government, community partners, educators, employers in the arena of offering work-based learning. But this is kind of what we're looking at when we talk about the spectrum or the continuum of work-based learning. You have your explore section. So, a lot of our students, if you have kids or nieces, nephews, or a guardian, you're familiar with how this looks in the K through 12 system, as well as potentially in post-secondary as well, that students are going to start off exploring, understanding what types of careers are out there through career fairs, informational interviews. My daughter just had the police and fire department out at her school, so she's going to learn through exploring and being exposed to those different career fields. Engaging with those would mean that you're attending job shadowing experiences, you're doing project-based work. Maybe it's an internship that might not be related directly to the student learner's pathway, but they're getting exposure and engaging with the different careers and taking that initiative themselves instead of if with the more explore, those careers are coming to them. Experience is what we're really talking about today. We're talking about experience. So when you hear these different things as an employer and throughout education system, experience is where we're talking about internships, co-ops, practicums, apprenticeships. There's all kinds and types of different experiences defined in very different ways. And so these are going to be your more typical experience is what you think is an internship, where it's aligned to a student's pathway. They're doing a set number of hours. There's curriculum that's tied to it potentially. There's credentials tied to that. So in terms of experience, that's what we're talking about when we're talking about these are career relevant opportunities on the side there for the left. But today we're going to be talking about what does it mean to offer a quality experience. So as I mentioned, these are the elements of these things. These are what it means to offer quality. It's outcome focused, it's career relevant, it's competency based. There's currency tied to it, and it's equitable for students to access, whether they're in a certain geographical location or just having the network to be able to find those opportunities. So this is being introduced to you just as a starting point. If you're not familiar with the continuum of work-based learning and how that's defined at the state or how that's expressed at the state level, but also what it means to offer a quality experience. So if you're offering an internship program, but you're really not thinking about how do I engage in a quality opportunity or offering a quality work-based learning experience, these are some of those components when it comes to offering that. So it might mean that you're supporting the students in obtaining a credential. Obviously, maybe the school might be offering that they're going to, but there's something maybe that you can provide to them, such as a training or certification. It might mean that if you're not paying your interns, you might be using the Earn Indiana program to be able to fund those interns, to be able to pay interns to provide a currency-based experience. So just keeping in mind that these are some of the opportunities or some of the ways that the opportunities can be of quality. It's not the end-all be-all. But we want you to just take some time to really reflect on where you're at as an employer offering these experiences and think about what does it mean to offer an equitable experience and how do I access more candidates or how do I provide more opportunities for those in my community to connect to the work-based learning program that we as an organization offer. So this will be shared with you again after this experience so you can look through this. If you haven't been working with an educational entity to offer work-based learning, oftentimes you'll see a training plan that is required as part of the experience. And a training plan is really just what you would think of as a contractual agreement between, not a formal contract necessarily. It's an agreement between you, the student, the educator, and potentially if it's an individual learner under the age of 18, it could be a parent or a guardian also into the mix as well. So you're going to potentially see this when you go out and offer an experience to a work-based learner, especially in the K through 12 space. But if you haven't adopted a training plan or the educator hasn't, it really is a key to offering a quality experience so that everyone involved in the process understands what that means. So in a training plan, you're going to find what are the employer responsibilities as part of this? What are some of the responsibilities of as the student, the employer, the educator? Is there academic credit being offered? What are the minimum, maximum hours that are required as part of this? Included in this is potential liability pieces, like who's liable for what, who's taking on responsibility for if this happens, what does occur, how does this work, what does this relationship look like? So if you haven't adopted a training plan, if your educators haven't, you might just want to ask, is there a training plan involved where we can have these discussions around whose roles and responsibilities and what are the expectations and what is being learned as part of this? Oftentimes, the difference between a part-time job and an internship or a work-based learning experience is going to be what competencies are aligned to the potential student's occupation or future career goals, and how do I learn those skills through an internship or an apprenticeship so that that student learner can get to that next level of obtaining a career, a credential, whatever that looks like for them in their future. So just quickly, briefly going through this, we'll talk about Work and Learn Indiana. Work and Learn Indiana is a platform that helps connect these students and employers to these experiences. So you learned about the quality, you learned about the continuum of what is work-based learning, you learned about what are some of the opportunities to offer or think and reflect on what a quality work-based learning experience looks like. But if you're offering, or maybe you're not offering a work-based learning opportunity, how can you start connecting to students and candidates and educators to be able to get those students into your door? So Work and Learn Indiana was created in 2001 out of the initiative from the Greater Indianapolis Chamber, as well as the University of Indianapolis, and it used to be Indiana InternNet. So if you're familiar with our past history, Work and Learn Indiana transitioned in September of 2021, I believe it was, to Work and Learn Indiana for a number of reasons. But Indiana InternNet was the basis in the program of what Work and Learn Indiana used to be. And so it is a free platform to connect all of these audiences to quality work-based learning experiences. So that could be work-based learning seekers, all the way from K through 12 to adult, to educators and employers alike. So it is completely free. As I mentioned at the beginning of this, you don't have to pay to play in order to post experiences, find candidates, or connect to educators through our platform. You do not have to be a chamber member at all either. So how this works within our platform, if you think about just a typical job board, is you're going to have the employer account. So we've been around, as I mentioned, for over 20 some years now. Your organization may already have an account on the platform. You're just going to have to activate your user account to be able to connect to that organization. So you're going to go in and you're going to connect to that organization account. You as the user and the organization have to be approved. Our team vets all of the things that come in through our system. So the org account, the user that's attached to it, and the internship. So once you get access to your organization workspace, you have an opportunity to post an internship, or a work-based learning experience. So that also has to be approved in our system. So once you work through that application process, which Anna will walk through this and what this looks like actually in Work and Learn Indiana. But once you do that, you're going to then have access to view candidates. The position will be approved. All of the workspace will show, a pending application once it's in the process of pending. And once that gets approved, your internship is now live. You have access to candidates to either preview the position, or you can also message students through the system in the portal. So educators, then we work with also our higher education institutions, as well as our K through 12 educational schools to see those opportunities and help connect students to those experiences. A student would also have access to create their profile, to be able to upload resumes, to be able to submit application material. And then obviously the match can be made within Work and Learn Indiana. It doesn't have to be made within Work and Learn Indiana to utilize our earn funds. I do want you to know that Work and Learn Indiana, about 80% of our experiences are earn eligible, but our platform is open and free for everyone to use, whether a student is an earn student and eligible for earn funds, or whether they're not. it is a free matching platform for all in order to participate and make those connections happen. So if you choose to hire a student outside of Work and Learn Indiana and take advantage of our EARN program, you're welcome to do that as well. I will say is if you post on Work and Learn Indiana, we do have relationships with our higher education institutions where we send out to all of the handshakes and simplicities and 1220s and all of those job boards that you're, probably already a part of and already post positions on. Work and Learn Indiana immediately sends those out. I think every Friday we get a list out to those platforms so that if you post with us, it's going to feed to over 50 different colleges at campuses across the state. So this is what it looks like in our system. If you were to go out there right now and see opportunities, you're going to find that those earned positions are going to have that green flag. Our other positions that are non-earned offered positions are going to still look the same. They just don't have that green flag next to them. You can see where it says it's going to have a location. It's going to say when it begins, what type of industry the position is located in, and it's going to have whether it's paid, full-time, part-time, and students can also click in and learn more about the job description or the internship description. So that's Work and Learn Indiana. As I mentioned, we operate the EARN program through Work and Learn Indiana. We've been operating EARN through a partnership with the Commission for Higher Education since 2013. So it's been about 10 years since and for our post-secondary students that we've been offering the EARN program. So it was created initially to support Hoosier students that were of a financial need to be able to connect to work-based learning opportunities that are paid and of high quality. And so in 2019, again, remembering that EARN is state funds, it's passed by legislation. And so in 2019, the Indiana General Assembly said it's going well in the post-secondary space. Why don't we offer this to our high school students with all of the changes? If you're not familiar with some of the changes that are happening in secondary school, they do require that students now, in order to graduate, have either a project-based, a service-based, or work-based learning experience as part of their degree requirement. So this, again, is part of that initiative and goals to get to supporting students in increasing work-based learning. So in order for an internship to qualify for EARN funding, an EARN internship has to qualify, the student has to be enrolled, and the 50% reimbursement then comes and is tied to that experience with that eligible student. So in order for the student to be eligible, there are requirements for them as well. As I mentioned, in post-secondary, there is a financial need tied to that student. But say you're paying a student $20 an hour, you're going to get back $10 on every hour that student works. So it is a great program for you to participate in. You can hire more students if you're already offering students opportunities, or if you haven't paid students in the past, this is a great way for you to fit into your budget and opportunity to award and afford the ability to pay those students for their work. So the experience.
I have a question.
Yeah. Go ahead.
In that, so you said 50% reimbursed. How does the reimbursement work?
Yeah, that's a great question. Certainly Anna is going to cover how that works within Scholar Track, but what you'll do is you'll hire the student through Work and Learn Indiana. So Work and Learn Indiana is the front side of the EARN program. And so you post the experience, we look through and make sure that it meets the requirements as part of EARN. You hire a student. So either find the student in Work and Learn Indiana and the match happens in Work and Learn Indiana, or you've hired them off of Indeed, Monster, a career fair, your own applicant tracking system. That's completely fine. The student still needs to come in and identify that they're EARN eligible as well. And so what happens then is you either fill the position with the student or they apply and then you fill the position through the application process. You're then going to then receive an email from us once your position, or not us, once the position has been approved from us, you're going to receive an email from the state to become a vendor of the state. Scholar Track is a platform that you're going to be invited to use, and that's really the payroll system. So think of Scholar Track as a payroll system, and that is the state's way to know how many hours the student has worked in order to get your reimbursement out to you. So you're going to submit and I'm tapping into what Anna is going to say later in the presentation, but you're going to have an I-9 form that you have to complete, or a tax form. You're going to have a direct deposit form, and you're going to have a user agreement that is going to have to be submitted. And then you report hours to the state. So say you're going to work with the students on a weekly basis and submit hours weekly. You can submit hours bulk at an end of the month. You're going to have to break those down weekly, but you can submit them whenever you would like to be able to submit them. And then you're going to get money directly back into whatever direct deposit information you sent to the state into your account. So that's how the reimbursement process works.
Is it like weekly, monthly, yearly? Just so
Yeah. In terms of it's as typically, I would say it takes about 30 days for you to get the direct deposit back initially. It really depends on how backed up the state is. But it's fairly quickly in terms of you being able to get money back. It's whenever you submit hours to the state is 30 days from that, you're going to get money back. So if you want to submit on a weekly basis, you can. If you want to wait, you have until 30 days after the experience in order to submit. So if you hire a student in August and you in that relationship in May, their school year, you have until June, so 30 days after that experience ends, to be able to submit for reimbursement.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so we're going to go through all of that process in terms of eligibility and what that looks like here too. So employers have to pay an hourly wage. You cannot pay them through other compensated means, a scholarship or a stipend. It does have to be an hourly wage. It must be at least 8 weeks, no more than 365 days. So that employer-employee relationship is up to you after that 365 days. But you do have one student for 365 days eligible under earn. It must be 12 hours, no more than 20 hours. We're working with the state to define what that looks like. But right now, that is typically, if you're going to hire a student and they're going to work between 12 to 20 hours, then it's going to be approved. If you're going to hire a student only for a couple hours a week, that's not going to fall under our minimum requirements. We know, obviously, there's spring breaks, fall breaks, all kinds of breaks that student schedules work through. Completely understand, but on a typical work week, it has to be 12 to 20. During a summer year or a summer term, it can be 40 hours. Not be political or sectarian in nature, meaning that the student can't be working for a candidate under a campaign, and the students can't be working towards like a theology degree or underneath a priest, pastor, minister, or other religious affiliation, job duties, and responsibilities. No more than 25% administrative. It's pretty self-explanatory there. The state's not going to fund a student getting coffee and sitting behind a desk. No more than 50% of your workforce can be interns. So you can't be one full-time staff member and hire 10 interns off of earn. That's not going to fly with the state. No other federal work-study funds. So especially if you're working with a college or university, no other federal work-study funds can be used. There's other grants and other state and federal dollars that can be used, but in terms of that, they can't be going towards paying a student wage. Employers must complete a training plan. Again, in terms of that, as we mentioned, it's really, if you talk about quality and talk about the importance of understanding the roles and responsibilities, a training plan really does need to be adopted as part of this. Andy, I see your hand up. Feel free to ask your question. Are you there? If you are there, we cannot hear your question.
Can you hear me now, Sally?
Yes, there you go.
All right, sorry, I had to change my microphone.
I know, that's right.
My question is related to the minimum of 8 weeks. Is that also the same for a summer experience?
Yes, the minimum 8 weeks is across the board. Whenever you're offering that experience, it does have to be at least 2 months. If it's under the 2 months, it's not going to be approved. But I will say, sometimes we understand that things may or may not work out. So you have to at least upfront be willing to offer a 2-month experience. But if for some reason that relationship ends, you're still able to receive reimbursement if you're an employer and for whatever reason that relationship ends at 4 weeks. But you have to be at least upfront offering the 8-week experience.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yep. So again, on the left side, you'll see employers have to register. As we talked about, employers have to register with Work and Learn Indiana so that we can capture the information the state needs in order to approve the experience. Employers cannot seek reimbursement more than $30,000 in a fiscal year. So that's July 1 to June 30th. And employers have to submit, as I mentioned earlier, at least 30 days. So within those 30 days of the experience ending, you need to be have gotten and sent in all of your hours that the student worked. So I wouldn't wait that long to be good partners to our state friends. I would say not wait that long. Plus, I'm sure you want the money before then, but you're welcome to wait until 30 days after the experience. I would say try not to though. Any other questions, feel free to put those in the chat and we'll continue on. As mentioned, all of this will go out to you. It is on our website, but it will go out to you with the recording and the PowerPoint so you can refer back to that should you have questions. Do want to cover the student side of things if you're an educator on here, but if you are an employer, you still need to maybe know what some of those requirements are as you hire a student. We do identify students in our system. You can go out and look at candidates right now and see if they have a green or yellow flag next to their name. You'll likely see that there's no high school students on there as those are hidden from our public view, but can certainly connect into students on the back end of our system. You do have to be an Indiana resident for both categories. So college is in green, high school is in yellow. So both students in various audiences, they do have to be a resident. They do have to be attending in either an Indiana college or university or attending an Indiana secondary school. So they do have to be enrolled in a state school, not necessarily a public school, but a state school in the state of Indiana in order to be a participant because this is state funds. In terms of the college space, the student does have to have an EFC less than or equal to the 24.5, and that's determined based on their FAFSA, which is the financial federal aid application that they typically fill out when they go to college or university. Our system does that for the students, so it's not like they have to go to their financial aid office at their school. They don't have to dig up their financial information. I certainly wouldn't have been able to, as a student, go back and figure out where my FAFSA number is, especially what an EFC was. So our system does that for them. They come in, they fill out a few questions in our platform, and in real time, that student is identified if they're earn enrolled or not. And that's in the post-secondary. In the secondary school, we work with our high school educators to enroll the students. So if you are familiar with an educator, a career center, a work-based learning coordinator, a school counselor, they're going to be the ones that are helping the student get enrolled in the program. And we do the legwork to try to help make that connection happen in order to enroll the student. So that's the student requirements as part of this. The industry requirements, the position does have to align with the next level jobs, high wage, high demand industries. So education is on this particular piece. It's not on next level jobs. So just so that you're aware, we know that education is not a part of those industries for next level jobs. But if you're offering an opportunity and the job duties and functions align with these various industries, then it's going to count towards earn. If you have questions on that or you want to see actual eligible occupations, you can go out to this website, Next Level Jobs, Employer Eligible Occupations, and see what those are. Again, they don't have to solely align to those job titles, but the job duties, functions, and responsibilities of the position do have to line under these industries, and that's for high school only at this time. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Anna again. She's going to walk through what this looks like. I'm especially more of a visual learner, and so we're talking about all of these requirements and what it means to offer a quality work-based learning experience and how does EARN work. So now that you have the overview of that, Anna is going to walk us through exactly how that looks in Work and Learn Indiana from the employer perspective and how you get connected. So if you wanted to go out there today, create your account, again, completely free, and get your job posted, you can do that today. So Anna, feel free to take it away, and I will man the chat room should there be any questions throughout her portion of the session.
Apologies, I'm just finishing up a response about the eligibility days. I think I've gotten most of them, Sally. Okay. So as Sally mentioned, I help her with the Work and Learn program. You'll probably, if you work with us, you'll probably see my name on responses about approved internships and whatnot. So the plan is to walk you through setting up your Work and Learn account. As Sally mentioned on the front end of things, we have a lot of organizations in here, so it is possible that your organization already exists in our system. And if that's the case, when you sign up for your personal login, you can associate yourself with the account. You'll start by going to workandlearnindiana.com. And on the top of that page, the top right, there will be a login/register button, and you'll click on that. From there, you'll get to the login screen, and you'll want to click on sign up now. And from there, it will ask you to create a username and password. Once you've done that, you'll get to the next page, and it will ask you some more information about what kind of account you're looking for. Yep, Sally's just one step behind. So you'll create your username and password. And then from there, you'll want to identify yourself as an employer/educator. So don't select the student account unless you're actually a student, because it will ask you all kinds of different information and you'll end up in the wrong place. The next box on there will ask for the name of your organization, and you'll want to type it in. If your organization already exists in our system, it will come up in that little drop down menu there, and you can click on it to select it. If you're not seeing your organization when you type it in, it's possible it doesn't exist in our system yet. You might also check if your organization uses a really common acronym to identify yourself. You could check that acronym and see if your organization might exist as that. Worst case scenario, you create a duplicate account, and my coworkers and I look at it and we're like, hey, we think we have that in, and we'll associate you with it and afterwards. So you can't go wrong here. Try your best to identify whether or not your organization is already in, but if it isn't, or you make a duplicate, we'll work it out. It'll be fine. From there, you'll select some more information about your organization, and including address and things like that. We will review your account, and we try to get around to that within 2 business days, and you will receive a message from us, either asking a question about whether or not you are associated with this account, or more likely you'll receive a welcome email saying, hey, welcome to our site. Here's some FAQs. Here's our user guide. Let us know if you need assistance posting your first internship, things like that. Once you create your username and login, you will end up on the workspace page, which is the next slide, I believe. So this is what your workspace will look like. It's where you'll begin just about every thing that you do inside of Work and Learn Indiana. On the left-hand side of the page, we have some notifications, and then below that will be an internship section. It will probably be blank if this is your first time posting with us. On the right side, we have workspace links. So this is where you can go in and update your organization profile, and you can add new users from your organization if there's more people who need to join you in using this account to manage your internships. However, the thing that we're here mostly concerned with is adding an internship. So the easiest way to do that, if you have a brand new internship that's never been posted, you can click on the big blue Add an Internship button. And that will be located in the internship section. It's probably the easiest way to find it. posting an internship, this is what it looks like. It will include things like the title, which is where you'll include the title that your internship will have as an intern, or sorry, that your intern will have as an intern with you. We also have several other questions, including where it's located, whether it's an in-person internship. You'll see at the very bottom, there's a section that will say, if you require applicants to apply through an external website, please enter the URL below. So this is if you have your own applicant tracking system that interns need to apply through. Instead of completing the application on our website, if they're looking for an internship on our site and they find yours and they click on apply, it will take them out to your portal and they can complete that application there so that you have record if that's how it needs to happen for you. So we do work with that in case that is something that your company requires. Let's see, can we go to the next slide, Sally? I forget if we have start dates and things like that on here. Yes. So especially since we're talking about earn, you'll go through the rest of this application and it will ask for start dates and end dates and things like that. Especially if you are utilizing the Earn Indiana program, you'll want to make sure that if it asks whether your internship is paid, you select that it is paid, and then you select that it is an hourly wage and you enter that wage amount. You also need to make sure that you select that you want to use Earn Indiana funding. And that will bring up a couple of other questions just below it, and you'll need to select whether it's related to college or high school Earn Indiana programming. You can absolutely use both of these, but you cannot use them on the same posting. So if you are hiring someone for a college earn position and someone for a high school earn position, you will need to make two separate internship postings. It's just the way the funding is set up at the state level. Unfortunately, we can't run both of them on the same posting. So you select one or the other. And then you also indicate whether you already have someone hired for this position or whether it needs to be posted so that applicants can apply to it. So you'll answer yes or no to that question. You'll continue on filling out the rest of the application. Once you hit the bottom, you'll hit the next button, and there are two more pages. One of them will ask for things like required or preferred skills, and the other will ask for details about your internship, such as the duties and responsibilities that your intern will need to undertake, whether they need to have any prior qualifications. Especially if you are using earned funding, you will also come to the fourth page of the application and it will ask for information specific to the earned funding. It sounds like Sally's busy answering questions, but if I can get to that next page, Sally. Yep. So this fourth page of the application, you'll see it's highlighted across the top of the screen. There's those 4 tabs. This is where you will provide your FEIN. We also provide links out to common labor laws, especially if you are hiring high school students. We leave following those laws up to you and your department. So we just make the match. We leave it to you guys to follow all of those requirements. At the very bottom, it will also ask if you are only going to hire people who are earn eligible. So if it's sort of a 50-50, you don't really care whether they're earn or not, but if they are, great. Then you can select no, you don't need them to only be earned. But if you are definitely sure that you only want to hire earned students, you would select yes. And then your posting will only show up to applicants who have already confirmed that they are earn eligible. That's a bit convoluted. So if me talking quickly through that has left you with questions, let us know. We'll be happy to answer that. Once you've answered all of the fields on here, you've gotten your application all the way filled out, you'll hit submit. And then it should bring you back to your homepage. And you'll see on this homepage in the workspace, there is the word pending next to your internship. That means it has come to us and we are in the process of reviewing it to make sure that it fulfills earn requirements. And if it is, then you'll get the approved from us. We try to get to that within 2 business days. If we have questions about it, or we think that we can help you position your internship better so that it is more, trying to think of the word there, so that students who see it are more inclined to apply, then we will reach out to you and we will work with you to get that internship posted after we make those changes. Once we hit approve, it will say, or you will receive an email from us indicating that it has been approved. At that time, it will go over to our partners at the Commission for Higher Education, and they will double check to make sure it hits all of their boxes for earned funding. What we do in the initial approval process is try to make sure that by the time they get it, they're going to say yes. So we double check and make sure that everything matches up as well as possible so that they can get through that process as quickly as possible. Once they approve it, Once you log back in, your internship will show up with that lovely little earn flag next to it. And that's how you know that it has been earn approved. For high school level ones, it will be yellow, and for college level ones, it will be green. Let's see. Let's go on to the next slide, I think, Sally. Yeah. ScholarTrack. So this is the other platform that Sally mentioned when she did her little aside earlier about the reimbursement process. The very first time that you register with us, the very first time that your organization registers with us, you post your very first internship as your organization, whoever is the primary contact in your organization will get an invitation to join the ScholarTrack account. This is an email, and it will come from a do not reply at che.in.gov. And it will say, we have created your account, you need to claim it. Sorry, I skipped over that slide there, Sally. It looks generally like this. Basically, it is giving you a link to claim your account. So you aren't really able to create it yourself. They need to create it first, and then you claim it and update the password. This email will also provide you a link to submit your W-9, your automated direct deposit form, and your earn agreement. Those are the three things that need to be submitted to create so that your organization can become a vendor of the state. As Sally mentioned, that's how you get your reimbursement. You become a vendor of the state, and they reimburse you as a vendor. So Sally mentioned that the ScholarTrack platform is kind of like the payroll part of this. So if you are coming in and you don't know who previously administered your account, but you got added to it, and you're in our system and you're like, I don't know how reimbursement occurs. It's probably because whoever initially set up the ScholarTrack account did not transfer the login to you, and we can help you get that set up. But that's something we have to do with the state. So I've gone off on a little bit of a tangent, but in summary, the very first time your organization creates an earn eligible internship, this is the invitation email that goes out to the main person on the account. If you submit an earn internship and you're not seeing this email and you're not seeing it, let us know. We'll be happy to reach out and figure out what happened and help you get set up in the system. Let's see. I think we're ready for the next slide, Sally. So we've gone through the steps of creating your account, posting your internship, and then figuring out the ScholarTrack system. The next step in order to get your reimbursement, once you've got everything set up in our system and ScholarTrack, is that you have to hire an earn eligible student. So that, as Sally mentioned on the front end of this, you don't have to source them from our site. You can source them from Monster, Indeed, career fairs, wherever you want. But at some point, that student needs to come in and create an account in our system and fill out that earn application. If they don't do that, there's no way that you can submit hours and receive that reimbursement. So it is an essential step, is they need to identify whether or not they're earn eligible. And then you need to mark that your internship has been filled with that specific intern. There's a couple of steps to this. We have a user guide. We can walk you through it. Once you've done it a couple times, it gets easier, but it is sometimes a little overwhelming on the front end of things because there are a lot of moving parts. The key thing to remember is that you have to have an eligible internship. Again, that's getting that approval back from CHE. And then you have to hire an earn eligible student, which means hiring someone with that green earn flag on there. If at any point you have questions or aren't sure if you've done it right, just let us know. We're happy to double check. We'd rather do it on the front end of things when you're getting started rather than at the tail end and you're like, I'm not sure if I've done it, because at that point we're at a race against the clock. So let us know and we're happy to double check. So marking your internship is filled. Again, this is after you've gotten the approval back from CHE, you have set up your ScholarTrack account, and you found your intern and you know they're earn eligible. You want to come back into your workspace and find that little icon there that says fill, or it doesn't say fill. It's a person-shaped icon with a plus sign. If you hover over it, it will say fill. You'll click on it, and this is how you mark that you've hired the specific intern. What you want to do on the next page is to either to click on the drop-down menu that says select an applicant and find your intern from there, or search for your intern by name. One way or the other, you want to do those two options, so that way that your internship is not delayed. The reimbursement is not delayed. Once you select your intern from one of those spaces, you'll enter their start and end date, and then you'll click save. What should happen is it should show up on the right-hand side, and it should have their information with that flag next to it, whether that's green or yellow, depending on your internship. If they show up without that flag, something has happened. You need to reach out and let us know, because they are not correctly filling it and their information will not be transmitted to ScholarTrack. So that is another checkpoint to make sure that you hit, is if you have gotten everything done so far, but they're not showing that flag, let us know, we'll troubleshoot. So our partners at the Commission for Higher Education, again, are the ones who manage that ScholarTrack system. They're the ones who actually send the reimbursements out. And if you have questions about something specifically in ScholarTrack, they're probably the ones to help you. That said, if you aren't sure where to start and you have a question and you want to ask us, we can always say, yep, that's a question for them, and send you over to them. If you want to start with them, we have their contact information here. And if they're like, nope, that's a work and learn question, they'll send you back to us. One way or another, you'll get to the right place, but we did want to provide this information just in case you wanted to start with them. In summary, we here at the Institute will be more than happy to walk you through this entire process from start to finish, whether that's just setting up your account, whether it's making sure that your internship is set up correctly. Whatever the case, we can do it by phone, virtual video call, via email, whatever works for you, just let us know. We believe that work-based learning is a great strategy for finding and developing talent, and we're happy to support you on whatever part of that journey you're on. I don't know if we mentioned, this is usually something that gets put in the very front of the ScholarTrack discussion, but I think we skipped over it. Employers can submit reimbursement requests up to $30,000 in a fiscal year. The fiscal year for CHE, again, they're the entity that manages ScholarTrack. The fiscal year for them runs July to June of each year. So we have never had an employer come up against that upper limit, but it would probably only apply to very large companies who have a bunch of interns, but whatever their reimbursement requests, $30,000 is that upper limit for the fiscal year for all of their interns. And this includes both high school and college level interns. So it's a total amount. And I think, as Sally mentioned on the front end, since we are newly offering high school or earn to the high school student space, we are excited to help set up for that. And we're happy to answer any of your questions you have about either of those processes. I think that covers my, oh, nope. Sally has a new slide that she added in.
Yeah, so again, as we're coming to the close, really appreciate your time today. Really appreciate you joining the call. I know this information is a bit overwhelming as we're throwing it all at you on a Friday in an hour's time. As Anna mentioned, our team is dedicated to supporting you from start to finish. So the first part of this is, securing your free account. If it's just a step-by-step process today, go out, sign up for your free account, poke around Work and Learn Indiana. You can't break it. And if you do, we can fix it. But if you just want to start there, signing up for your account, seeing what's out there, maybe posting an internship. I mean, if you don't find anyone, we can close it. If you have someone already, we can fill it. So, start there with the small steps, and then we can help walk you through the rest, right? We'll also send out a guide, a step-by-step guide after this of like, okay, after I do this, I forget how to fill my internship. What do I do? So we're going to provide you with that step-by-step guide. We'll send this video out to you. Anytime that you have questions, you can certainly let us know. I've included this slide on here. We do host a work-based learning conference. Just within the past 2 years, we've been offering this. So this is the second year. It does feature our impact awards that we've been offering for 18 years now. But we're going to host that in February in Noblesville. So if you're interested, you can check out the agenda. It's going to be coming here in December. The nonprofit and for-profit prices are listed on this slide as well. You're welcome to attend. The topics are going to be related to some of the things that you had questions about potentially. We also will be offering, and I don't have this on here, is a liability, workers' comp and compliance, session here in December and January. We have a partner with, a staffing agency, that offers support to employers that are concerned about some of those areas around hiring students under a certain age. So if you want more information about that, please let us know. But we'll be also holding those sessions. So check out what other things you can get involved with works-based learning. We do have that on our website, and we'd be happy to share out more information to you as well. So here's our information. We'll be sticking around for the next couple minutes. Should you have any questions, Anna and I would be happy to answer those for you. You can always get in touch with us through Work and Learn Indiana, or Work and Learn IN, don't put Indiana full, Work and Learn IN at indianachamber.com. Anna and I attend to that inbox on a very regular basis. I'd say almost every hour we're in there checking for stuff. So let us know how we can help. We'll be sending this information out. Thank you so much. We really hope that you jump into work-based learning if you're not in work-based learning already. But if you're ready to take the next step and want to talk about other experiences to offer, or how do you increase and scale your program, we're welcome to those conversations as well. So again, hopefully you have a great rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend, and hopefully we'll be seeing you on Work and Learn Indiana soon. Thanks, everybody.